He didn't violate an agreement with them. He wasn't supposed to tweet about Tesla's sales, but he did anyway. He may be suspended because of it. Mark Chenoweth is with us. He's a former Justice Department official and executive director of the New Civil Liberties Alliance. What's he looking at? I mean, what could the SEC do to him?
Well, they're going to try to get the judge who oversaw the prior settlement agreement with him, issue some sort of fine against him, perhaps as they tried to get him, well, as they did successfully get him to step down as chairman of Tesla, they may try to have him suspended as CEO for some short period of time.
But they could, for a short period of time. So they could do that. I mean, the SEC has the power to say, you shouldn't have done that, we're suspending you as CEO. They can actually do that.
Well, that's up to the judge. The SEC can't do that on its own.
What do you think will happen? Do you think the judge will do that? Any idea?
I hope that the judge doesn't do that. I think that would be overkill in this case. The agreement that Elon Musk had reached with the SEC was that he would try to comply with a series of things which he's already complied with. One of them was that he would be more careful with his tweets, that he would run the tweets by other folks, compliance folks within Tesla. And to me, it appears that he was trying to comply with that here. He put out a tweet. It had an inaccuracy in it, and he tried to correct that fairly quickly. So I don't think that the damage here was material, and I hope that the judge sees it that way as well.
Okay, so I understand. Now, what about this? He could lose his government security clearance because he smoked pot on the Joe Rogan podcast. Really? How? I mean, is it just because he's the CEO and you're not supposed to smoke weed as the CEO? What's the rule that he broke here?
Well, that's a good question. The SEC needs to stick to the securities laws, I think. If he broke a criminal law, then that should be up to someone else to enforce it. The SEC is looking out for the interests of investors, and I think that it's a bridge too far there.
But if they're looking out for the best interests of investors, he gets away with everything. I mean, there's no serious penalty ever really been imposed on him. He had to step down as chairman. They got somebody else in. They fined him $20 million. He can afford it. He's never really seriously affected by all that he's done.
Well, I assume that he thinks that being forced to step down as chairman is a serious penalty. I don't think that's something that he wanted to do. But I think that the question back would be, he has given $20 million in penalty. That's what the SEC asked for. If that was commensurate with the violation that was alleged, then what more needs to take place?
You kind of like the guy, huh?
Well, what I don't like is that when the SEC gets its teeth into somebody, it seems that they don't want to let go. And it's not clear to me that this tweet in particular has done anything that's really worth coming after Mr. Musk for.
Okay. Look, Mark, we value your balanced opinion. We appreciate it. And thanks very much for stopping by today. We'll see what happens on Monday, I guess. Thank you, sir.